A brave girl uncovers a groom's dark past. Will her mother believe the shocking truth? Welcome to Stories TH. In today's story, Bella is fighting to protect family from a dark secret that threatens their safety. She knows that love and instinct are the strongest forces, and she'll stop at nothing to protect her mother. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to Stories TH for more incredible stories of courage, love, and family protection. In a quiet suburban home, a young girl named Lily begins to suspect that her mother's new fiancé, Marcus, might be hiding a dark secret. On the surface, Marcus seems perfect. He is charming, wealthy, and seems to genuinely care for her mother, Ava. However, Lily can't shake the uneasy feeling that something is off. At first, her concerns seem like the overactive imagination of a young girl upset about her mother's remarriage. But as time passes, her suspicion deepens when she notices that Marcus's behavior becomes more unsettling. He's overly polite, too perfect, and when he looks at Lily, there's an icy coldness in his gaze. After one particularly disturbing encounter, Lily sees Marcus standing outside her mother's room, staring at the door with an intensity that sends a chill down her spine. Convinced that Marcus is hiding something, Lily tries to confront her mother, but Ava brushes off her concerns, insisting that Marcus is a good man who only wants the best for their family. Lily is frustrated but powerless, as her mother continues to deny her fears. Her doubts grow stronger after a series of strange events, including Marcus's evasive behavior and the fact that she can find no information about him online. Despite his apparent wealth and business success, there is no trace of Marcus on the internet, no business articles, no social media, not even an address. This lack of information only fuels Lily's suspicions. Desperate for answers, Lily turns to her best friend, Kate, who initially dismisses the idea as jealousy or a fear of losing her mother's attention. But Lily is undeterred and presses Kate to help her investigate Marcus's past. That night, Lily sneaks into her mother's room while Ava is asleep and checks Marcus's phone number, but to her horror, there is no trace of him online. Lily grows increasingly worried, realizing that the man her mother is about to marry may not be who he says he is. As time goes on, Lily's fear reaches a breaking point when Marcus's presence becomes even more ominous. At a family dinner, when Marcus tries to offer Lily a piece of meat, his smile is unsettling, and his comment about how being too smart isn't good makes her skin crawl. It's clear that Marcus is no longer trying to hide his sinister intentions, and Lily knows she must act before her mother makes the biggest mistake of her life. With Kate's reluctant help, Lily starts to investigate Marcus further. Together, they discover that Marcus's phone number had been used to contact a woman named Adriana Collins, who went missing 2 years ago. When they dig deeper, they find a chilling connection. Adriana had been Marcus's girlfriend, and she disappeared under suspicious circumstances. This discovery turns Lily's worst fears into reality. Marcus is not just a charming man with a few quirks, he is potentially a murderer. Now armed with the information she needs, Lily is determined to expose Marcus for the dangerous man he truly is. But when she confronts him, he doesn't deny it. Instead, Marcus taunts her with a chilling laugh, making it clear that he knows she's onto him. Lily is terrified, but she refuses to back down. She uses her phone to record their conversation, with a copy of the recording sent to her friend Kate, ensuring that if anything were to happen to her, the truth would come out. As the tension between them escalates, Lily pushes Marcus further, knowing that the only way to stop him from marrying her mother is to force him to confess. Marcus, with his dark, predatory eyes, tries to intimidate Lily, but she stands her ground, revealing that she knows he killed Adriana and is planning to do the same to her mother. The confrontation takes a dramatic turn when Marcus attempts to manipulate Ava by denying everything and playing the victim. Ava, still blinded by love, doesn't believe Lily and accuses her daughter of trying to ruin her happiness. But Lily, with the strength of 1,000 convictions, refuses to let Marcus's manipulation succeed. In a final attempt to get Ava to listen, Lily places the recorder on the table, playing Marcus's chilling confession for Ava to hear. As the truth sinks in, Ava collapses in shock, realizing the man she had been about to marry was a cold-blooded killer. But Marcus isn't done yet. In a final desperate act to escape, he grabs Lily and tries to flee the house, but the police, who have been called by Lily's friend Kate, intervene just in time. In a tense standoff, Marcus pulls out a knife, but the police manage to overpower him before he can harm anyone. With Marcus arrested and taken away, Lily and her mother are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. Ava, in tears, thanks Lily for saving her life, admitting that she had been blind to Marcus's true nature. The final moments of the story are a bittersweet relief as Lily and Ava begin to heal from the trauma. They move away to start fresh, leaving behind the toxic memories of Marcus and the life he almost ruined. For Lily, the journey has been one of courage, intuition, and determination, as she faced the fear that no one else believed in and fought to protect the one person she loved most. The story ends on a hopeful note as mother and daughter embrace their new life, free from the darkness that once threatened to tear them apart. This story is a powerful reminder of the importance of trusting our instincts, even when others may doubt us. It shows that no matter how perfect someone may appear on the outside, their true character will always reveal itself in the end. Lily's courage and unwavering determination to protect her mother highlight the strength of family bonds and the lengths we will go to in order to safeguard those we love. In the end, justice is served, and Lily and her mother begin anew, stronger than ever. Lily, a perceptive young girl, has always had a deep connection with her mother, Ava. However, everything begins to change when her mother begins a serious relationship with a man named Marcus, a seemingly perfect individual who checks all the boxes, wealthy, charming, and polished. Marcus drives expensive cars, wears designer clothes, and showers Ava with gifts that make her feel like the luckiest woman alive. From the very first moment Marcus steps into their home, his charisma and compliments towards Ava are overwhelming, making her believe that she's finally found the man of her dreams. But Lily, sitting quietly in the background, can't shake the nagging feeling that something about Marcus isn't right. She notices how he always looks at her with an unnerving intensity, as if something is lurking beneath the surface. Despite his outward perfection, his mannerisms feel too rehearsed, too flawless. Something about him feels inauthentic, and that unease only deepens as she spends more time with him. At first, Lily tries to dismiss her feelings, thinking she might simply be jealous of her mother's new relationship, or perhaps she's too young to understand the complexity of love. Yet, the more Marcus enters their lives, the more Lily becomes convinced that he is hiding something. He is too perfect, almost predatory in the way he watches her. One night, after dinner, Lily notices Marcus standing in the hallway, staring at her mother's bedroom door. His eyes seem to pierce through the walls, and the look in his gaze is not that of a man in love. It's colder, darker, like a predator eyeing its prey. When Lily confronts her mother the next morning, trying to express her concerns, Ava brushes her off with a laugh, saying she's imagining things and that Marcus is just a kind, caring man. Lily feels frustrated but helpless. No matter how much she tries to warn her mother, she refuses to listen. The unease grows when Lily begins to search for information about Marcus. As a wealthy businessman, he should have a substantial online presence, but to her horror, there is absolutely nothing. No news articles, no social media accounts, not even a business website that might validate his claimed wealth. A man as prominent as Marcus should have been easy to find, yet he exists in the digital world like a ghost. Panic starts to set in, and Lily becomes increasingly suspicious of his intentions. At dinner that evening, Marcus offers her a piece of meat, but his smile is unsettling, and his comment about being too smart for her own good sends a shiver down her spine. It's clear to her now there is something sinister about him, and she must do something before her mother makes the biggest mistake of her life. Desperate to prove her suspicions, Lily enlists the help of her best friend, Kate. At first, Kate dismisses Lily's fears, suggesting she may be acting out of jealousy. However, when Lily shares her discovery about Marcus's lack of online presence, Kate agrees to help investigate further. After a night of digging, they uncover a chilling fact. Marcus's phone number had been linked to a woman named Adriana Collins, who had mysteriously vanished 2 years ago. The connection is enough to send a shockwave through Lily. She knows that Marcus isn't who he says he is. He's not just a charming man with a few quirks. He's dangerous. He's involved in something far darker than she could have imagined. With the pieces falling into place, Lily knows she has to act quickly. She can't let her mother marry this man without exposing the truth. But Marcus is no fool. He's already suspicious of Lily's growing distrust. When Lily confronts him, his response is chilling. He taunts her with a dangerous smile, making it clear that he knows she's onto him. In a final, desperate move, Lily manages to get a recording of their conversation, ensuring that if anything were to happen to her, the truth would come out. But even with this proof, Marcus doesn't back down. Instead, he laughs, mocking her efforts, and in that moment, Lily realizes just how much danger she's in. Determined to gather more evidence, Lily reaches out to a hacker named Matthew, a classmate with the skills to investigate Marcus's digital footprint. Matthew uncovers even more disturbing information. Not only did Marcus date Adriana, but there are photos that confirm she was held captive before her disappearance. The chilling images, showing Adriana bound and locked in a dark room, are enough to confirm what Lily had feared: Marcus is a killer. And now, her mother is on the verge of marrying him. With the truth finally out, Lily knows the only way to stop him is to confront him directly and force him to confess. As she puts her plan into action, Marcus grows more and more hostile, and Lily feels the weight of the danger she's in. During a tense confrontation, Lily reveals to Marcus that she knows he killed Adriana. Marcus, with his cold, menacing smile, denies everything, but Lily presses on, threatening to take her evidence to the police. He taunts her, trying to intimidate her, but Lily stands her ground. Just as she's about to expose him, Marcus calls for Ava to come into the room. He quickly manipulates the situation, making it seem like Lily is the one with the problem. Ava, still blinded by love, refuses to believe her daughter, and Marcus uses this to his advantage, turning the situation against Lily. But Lily's determination doesn't waver. In a final desperate act, Marcus tries to physically overpower Lily, but the police, tipped off by Matthew, arrive just in time to stop him. There's a dramatic standoff, and in a flash of panic, Marcus attempts to escape, pulling a knife on the officers. But the police are quick to apprehend him, and Marcus is finally taken into custody. Lily's fears are confirmed when the police reveal the full extent of Marcus's crimes. He is indeed a murderer. The nightmare is over, but for Lily and her mother, the road to healing will be long. Ava, heartbroken by her inability to see the truth sooner, thanks Lily for saving her life. With the criminal behind bars, the two women begin a new chapter, free from the shadows that once threatened to tear them apart. Lily's courage, her unwavering determination, and her ability to trust her instincts in the face of doubt ultimately save her mother's life. This story serves as a powerful reminder that sometimes the truth can be hard to face, but it's often the strength of those around us that helps us find our way through the darkness. From the very start, Lily felt a sense of unease about her mother's fiancé, Marcus. Although he appeared perfect on the surface, wealthy, charming, and successful, there was something about him that made Lily uncomfortable. His polished exterior and kind words towards her mother, Ava, seemed too rehearsed, too perfect. Marcus showered Ava with expensive gifts, spoke in a manner that made her feel special, and always had a smile ready for everyone. He seemed like the ideal man for her mother, and Ava was smitten, convinced that she had finally found the love she deserved. But to Lily, his smile felt more like a mask, hiding a more sinister side. As the days passed, Lily's suspicions grew. There were moments when Marcus's politeness felt forced, and his gaze lingered on Lily a little too long. She couldn't quite put her finger on it, but she sensed that his behavior wasn't just a result of nervousness, it was something darker. His actions spoke louder than his words, and Lily's instincts screamed that there was something wrong. She decided to voice her concerns to her mother, hoping for reassurance, but Ava brushed her off with a laugh, calling her paranoid. "Marcus is a good man, Lily," she said, dismissing her daughter's growing worry. But Lily couldn't shake the feeling that she was the only one who could see Marcus for what he really was. One night, after Marcus had left their home, Lily, unable to sleep, saw something that made her blood run cold. She glanced out into the hallway and saw Marcus standing there, staring at her mother's bedroom door with an intensity that felt wrong. His eyes were not those of a loving partner, they were cold, calculating. When their gazes met, it sent a chill through Lily's spine, and she quickly slammed her door shut, her heart racing. Something was off, and she knew it. The next day, she tried again to warn her mother, but Ava insisted that she was imagining things. "Marcus likes you a lot, Lily. You just need to give him a chance," Ava said, brushing her concerns aside with a dismissive laugh. But Lily couldn't ignore the gnawing feeling in her gut. Determined to uncover the truth, Lily began researching Marcus. As a successful businessman, he should have had an online presence, but she found nothing. No articles, no social media profiles. He was a ghost. This revelation only deepened Lily's fear. Why would a man so successful leave no trace of his existence? When she confronted Ava with this discovery, she was met with resistance. Her mother refused to believe her, insisting that she was just trying to sabotage her happiness. But Lily's intuition told her that Marcus was hiding something. He couldn't be the man Ava thought he was. Her fears were confirmed when Lily discovered a chilling link. Marcus's phone number was connected to a woman named Adriana Collins, who had mysteriously disappeared 2 years ago. The pieces began to fall into place. Marcus wasn't just a charming man, he was connected to a dark past. With this newfound knowledge, Lily became even more determined to expose Marcus for what he truly was. But he was no fool. As she dug deeper, she realized that Marcus had started to catch on to her suspicions. His polite demeanor began to take on a more threatening tone. One evening, as he offered her a piece of meat at dinner, his smile seemed off cold, almost threatening. It was then that Lily realized she had to act fast. She could no longer stay silent. Lily decided to confront Marcus, but she knew she couldn't do it alone. She enlisted the help of her best friend, Kate, and together they began investigating Marcus's past. After some digging, they uncovered more disturbing information. Marcus had once dated Adriana, the woman who had gone missing, and photos of her bound and locked in a dark room surfaced. The realization was horrifying. Marcus wasn't just a con man, he was a killer, and now he was about to marry her mother. Lily knew she couldn't let this happen, but Marcus had become suspicious of her every move, making it even more difficult to gather the evidence she needed. Lily's desperation reached its peak when she decided to confront Marcus directly. She lured him into a private conversation where she boldly accused him of being involved in Adriana's disappearance. At first, Marcus tried to deny everything, but when Lily mentioned the photos she had found, he grew cold and defensive. His mask cracked, revealing his true nature. But he didn't confess, he just threatened her, warning her to stay out of grown-up business. Despite his threats, Lily stood firm, knowing that she was the only one who could protect her mother. Determined to gather proof, Lily turned to Matthew, a tech-savvy friend who could help her track Marcus's phone and get access to his data. Matthew's skills uncovered something even more chilling. Marcus's phone had been used to contact Adriana shortly before her disappearance. The connection was undeniable. Marcus had been involved in her death. Lily knew it was time to act, but Marcus was getting increasingly dangerous, trying to intimidate her into backing off. He was no longer hiding behind a charming facade. His true colors were starting to show. With no other option, Lily set a trap for him. She convinced her mother to invite Marcus over for dinner, where she planned to confront him once and for all. With the recorder hidden in her pocket, she sat across from Marcus, asking him pointed questions about his past and his relationship with Adriana. When he denied everything, Lily pushed him further, saying she had proof. The confrontation escalated quickly, with Marcus's threats growing more intense. But Lily didn't back down. When he tried to intimidate her, she played the recording, revealing that she had already sent a copy to Matthew, ensuring that the truth would come to light if anything happened to her. Just as Marcus began to unravel, Ava entered the room, and Marcus quickly manipulated the situation, making it seem like Lily was the one with the problem. Ava, blinded by love, refused to believe her daughter, and in that moment, Marcus made his move. He took the recorder from Lily's pocket. But Lily didn't give up. She made sure to press her mother on the truth, insisting that Marcus was dangerous. Eventually, Marcus was arrested after a dramatic confrontation with the police. Ava, heartbroken but thankful, realized too late that she had been blinded by her emotions. It was Lily's courage that saved them both from Marcus's dark plans. This story shows how trusting your instincts and having the courage to face uncomfortable truths can protect you and your loved ones. Lily's bravery and determination led to justice, exposing Marcus for who he truly was, despite the many obstacles in her path. Lily had always been a protective daughter, especially when it came to her mother, Ava, who had recently started dating Marcus. At first glance, Marcus seemed to be everything a woman could want. He was charming, wealthy, successful, and seemingly devoted to Ava. He showered her with expensive gifts, took her to fancy restaurants, and made sure to express how beautiful she was every time they spoke. But there was something about him that set off alarms in Lily's mind. She couldn't shake the feeling that Marcus wasn't as perfect as he appeared. His politeness often seemed insincere, and there was a coldness in his eyes that made Lily feel uncomfortable. Despite her unease, Ava was deeply in love, convinced that Marcus was the man she had been waiting for. But for Lily, it felt like a perfect disguise for something more sinister. Lily began to notice small details that seemed off. Marcus's presence in their lives felt like an encroachment. Whenever he was around, Lily couldn't help but feel an unsettling sense of distance between herself and her mother. His overly polished demeanor made her suspicious, especially when she caught him staring at her a little too intensely. But every time Lily tried to voice her concerns to Ava, her mother dismissed them with a smile, telling her that Marcus was a good man. "He likes you a lot, Lily," Ava would say. "You just have to get used to him." But Lily couldn't, not when her gut was screaming that something wasn't right. One evening, after Marcus had left their home, Lily's suspicion reached its peak. As she sat alone in the quiet of the house, she saw something that made her heart race. Marcus standing in the hallway, staring at her mother's bedroom door. His eyes were cold and calculating, and when their gazes met, through the reflection in the mirror, Lily's skin crawled. When she turned around, there was no one there. But Lily was certain that what she had seen wasn't just her imagination. The next morning, when she tried to tell Ava what had happened, her mother laughed it off, attributing it to Lily's overactive imagination. "You're just imagining things, honey," Ava said, shaking her head. "Marcus is a good man." But the more Ava defended him, the more Lily felt like she had to protect her mother from a man who could not be trusted. Determined to find out who Marcus truly was, Lily started to dig into his background. She couldn't understand why someone so successful would have no online presence. No articles, no social media accounts, no traces of his wealth or accomplishments anywhere. Lily felt a chill run down her spine as she realized that Marcus was a ghost, someone who existed only in the physical world, but not in the digital one. How could a wealthy businessman have absolutely no online presence? The more she searched, the more she felt like something was terribly wrong. When she confronted her mother with this discovery, Ava simply shrugged it off. "You're being paranoid, Lily," she said. "Why would you think that?" Her suspicions grew, and one night, Lily found the smoking gun. Marcus's phone number was connected to a woman named Adriana Collins, who had disappeared 2 years ago. Lily's heart sank as the pieces of the puzzle clicked together. Marcus wasn't just hiding something, he was hiding everything. He was connected to a woman who had vanished, and now he was about to marry her mother. Determined to get to the truth, Lily sought help from her best friend, Kate. Together they began to investigate Marcus's past, and what they uncovered was chilling. Photos surfaced of Adriana bound and locked in a dark room, and then, the final photos, Adriana's lifeless body. The realization was horrifying. Marcus wasn't just a con man, he was a killer. Lily knew she had to act quickly, but Marcus had grown suspicious of her. He was aware that she was onto him, and the game had turned dangerous. He wasn't the polite, charming man who had first entered their lives. He was now a predator, watching Lily closely, waiting for her to make a move. But Lily wasn't afraid. She had the truth on her side, and she wasn't about to let him marry her mother. She confronted him, directly accusing him of being involved in Adriana's disappearance. Marcus's calm facade cracked, but he didn't confess. Instead, he threatened her, warning her to stay out of grown-up business. His eyes darkened as he tried to intimidate her, but Lily stood her ground. She was the only one who knew the truth, and she would not let Marcus get away with it. Lily turned to Matthew, a tech-savvy friend, to help her gather more information. Matthew's skills allowed him to track Marcus's phone, and what he found was even more incriminating. Marcus's number had been used to contact Adriana shortly before her disappearance. There was no denying it now. Marcus had killed Adriana, and now he was trying to marry her mother. Lily couldn't let that happen. She had to stop Marcus before it was too late. With no other choice, Lily decided to confront Marcus directly. using the recorder to capture his confession. When she lured him into a private conversation, she asked him about his past with Adriana. At first, he denied everything, but when Lily mentioned the photos she had found, he became defensive. His mask of politeness was slipping, and Lily saw the monster behind it. He didn't confess, but Lily had him cornered. She told him that if he didn't confess, she would go to the police with the evidence. Marcus's demeanor changed, and he became more dangerous, but Lily was resolute. She would not back down. The confrontation reached its peak when Ava entered the room. Marcus tried to manipulate the situation, claiming that Lily was just obsessed with the idea that he was a murderer. But Ava wasn't fooled. When Lily pressed her mother one final time, demanding that she listen to the truth, Marcus took the recorder from Lily's pocket. But even without the recorder, Lily's words were enough. Ava finally saw Marcus for what he truly was. The police arrived just in time to arrest Marcus, and he was taken away in handcuffs, his true nature exposed. Lily's courage saved her mother from a dangerous man, and though it had come at a cost, she knew she had done the right thing. Her bravery had protected her family, and in the end, justice was served. As Lily and Ava left the old house behind and started anew, Lily knew that sometimes the truth could be difficult to accept, but it was always worth fighting for. Lily had always been protective of her mother, Ava, but when Marcus entered their lives, something felt off. At first, Marcus appeared to be the perfect man, rich, successful, and attentive. He showered Ava with expensive gifts and lavished her with compliments, and Ava, overwhelmed by the attention, quickly fell in love. However, Lily's instincts told her there was something wrong. Despite Marcus's charm and wealth, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that he was hiding something. His overly perfect demeanor, combined with an unsettling coldness in his eyes, made her uneasy. Every time he spoke to her, his politeness felt rehearsed, and his actions never seemed as genuine as they should have been. But when Lily tried to voice her concerns to Ava, her mother dismissed them. "You're just being paranoid, Lily. He's a good man," Ava would say, brushing off her daughter's worries. But Lily wasn't convinced. Over time, Lily's suspicions only grew. Marcus's constant presence in their home began to make Lily feel like an outsider in her own life. He seemed to have an uncanny ability to insert himself into every conversation, every moment. He was always just a little too eager to please, too concerned about how everyone else saw him. One night, Lily witnessed something that sent a chill down her spine. As she sat in the living room, she glanced up to see Marcus standing at the end of the hallway, staring at her mother's bedroom door with an intensity that made her feel like prey. His eyes were cold, and his smile was twisted. Lily's heart pounded in her chest, and she immediately turned away, unsure if what she had seen was real or a product of her imagination. But when she looked again, Marcus was gone, and the hallway was empty. The next morning, Lily tried to explain what she had seen to Ava, but her mother brushed it off as nothing more than her overactive imagination. "You're just imagining things," Ava said with a laugh. But Lily couldn't let it go. She knew what she had seen, and her gut told her something wasn't right. Determined to find out more, Lily began her investigation into Marcus's past. She started with a simple internet search, but to her horror, there was nothing. A successful businessman with no online presence, no news articles, no social media accounts, no traces of his business dealings anywhere. How could this be? If Marcus was as successful as he claimed, there should have been something. The more Lily dug, the more it felt like Marcus was a ghost, a man with no past. She shared her findings with Ava, hoping her mother would see the same red flags she had, but Ava dismissed it. "You're just trying to stop me from marrying him," she said. But Lily couldn't stop. She needed proof. Something concrete to show her mother that Marcus wasn't who he said he was. Late one night, she went through her mother's belongings, hoping to find something that could shed light on Marcus's past. When she opened Ava's laptop, Lily discovered that Marcus's phone number wasn't registered to any name, no personal information tied to it at all. This was it. This was the smoking gun. Then one night, during a dinner with Marcus, Lily's suspicions reached a breaking point. Marcus offered her a piece of meat, and when she refused, he smiled in a way that made her skin crawl. "She just needs time to get used to you," Ava laughed, oblivious to the tension that was rising between her daughter and her fiancé. But Marcus's eyes didn't seem friendly anymore. His words, "Sometimes being too smart isn't good," sent a chill through Lily's spine. She couldn't stay silent anymore. Lily turned to her best friend, Kate, for help. Together, they began to investigate Marcus further, and what they uncovered was shocking. Photos surfaced of a woman named Adriana Collins, Marcus's former girlfriend, who had gone missing 2 years ago. The images showed her tied up and locked in a dark room, and the last photos, they were of her lifeless body. Lily's worst fears were confirmed. Marcus wasn't just a con man, he was a killer. They found pictures of a woman named Adriana Collins, Marcus's former girlfriend, who had gone missing 2 years ago. The photos were not just of a woman who had disappeared, they were of her bound and locked in a dark room, her final moments captured in haunting images. Lily's heart dropped when she realized the unthinkable. Marcus was not just a fraud, he was a killer. Lily confronted Marcus directly, accusing him of being involved in Adriana's disappearance, but he only denied everything with a smile. His cold, menacing demeanor only confirmed what Lily had feared all along. She knew she had to stop him before it was too late. But Marcus wasn't going to let her uncover his secret so easily. He threatened Lily, his eyes narrowing with menace. But Lily stood firm, knowing that she couldn't let him get away with it. The final confrontation came when Lily and Ava were alone in the house one evening. Lily had planted a recorder in the room, hoping to catch Marcus in the act. But when Ava entered, Marcus turned the situation around. He quickly tried to manipulate her, convincing Ava that Lily was simply paranoid and obsessed with stopping their marriage. The tension was unbearable, but when Lily finally confronted Marcus with proof of his crimes, something changed. His face darkened, and he admitted his guilt just as the police arrived, having been tipped off by Lily's investigation. Marcus tried to flee, but the officers quickly apprehended him, and as they put him in handcuffs, Lily couldn't help but feel a sense of relief. Justice had been served. After the arrest, Lily and Ava left their old home behind, moving to a safer place where they could finally begin to heal. Ava, now free from Marcus's grip, finally understood the depth of Lily's courage and the importance of trusting her instincts. They had survived the nightmare together, and as they looked toward the future, they both knew they had been given a second chance. In the end, Lily's story was a powerful reminder that our instincts are often right, and when we trust them, we can protect ourselves and those we love from danger, even when no one else believes us. Lily had always been a quiet observer, especially when it came to her mother, Ava. Ava had recently started dating Marcus, a charming, wealthy man who seemed perfect in every way, handsome, well-mannered, and generous. From the expensive car he drove to the thoughtful gifts he showered Ava with, Marcus fit the ideal image of the perfect partner. But Lily's instincts told her something wasn't quite right. Every time Marcus smiled, there was something too polished, too rehearsed about it, and his eyes, when they met Lily's, always held a cold, calculating gleam that unsettled her. Still, she couldn't quite place her finger on why exactly she felt so uneasy. Her mother, on the other hand, seemed completely smitten, and that made it harder for Lily to voice her concerns. One evening, Marcus came over for dinner, and Lily couldn't ignore the feeling of being watched. As she walked past the hallway, she caught a glimpse of Marcus standing there, his eyes fixed on her mother's bedroom door, staring in a way that sent a chill down her spine. It wasn't the loving, doting gaze of someone in a relationship, it was something more ominous. When Lily turned to look, Marcus quickly disappeared, but the image stayed with her. She couldn't shake the feeling that she had just witnessed something dark. The next morning, Lily decided to confront her mother again, this time with more urgency. "Mom, do you really think Marcus is a good person?" she asked, her voice filled with suspicion. But Ava only laughed it off, dismissing her daughter's concerns. "You're imagining things, Lily. He's a good man. He likes you a lot," Ava reassured her. Lily's words were met with a calm but firm response, and Ava's dismissive attitude only deepened Lily's unease. That night, Lily tried to sleep, but couldn't shake the fear that had settled in her chest. She lay awake, her mind racing. What was Marcus hiding? Why did she feel like he was hiding something? The following day, Lily took matters into her own hands. She began searching for information on Marcus, but every time she tried to find something, anything, there was nothing. No online presence, no business details, not even a trace of his social media. A man as successful as Marcus should have a footprint somewhere. This only fueled Lily's suspicions further, but the more she dug, the more dead ends she hit. Marcus's name seemed to be a ghost in the digital world, and that wasn't normal. Still, her mother refused to listen to her, brushing her worries aside. Determined to find answers, Lily secretly searched through her mother's belongings one afternoon, hoping to find something to validate her suspicions. When she discovered Marcus's phone number, she immediately passed it on to her friend Kate, asking her to run a background check. Determined to protect her mother, Lily confronted Marcus. She accused him of being involved in Adriana's disappearance, but he denied everything, smirking as if he were untouchable. "You're playing a dangerous game," he told Lily, his voice low and menacing. But Lily wasn't afraid. She knew the truth. She wasn't going to let Marcus destroy her mother's life. The confrontation escalated, and as the police arrived, Marcus made one last attempt to flee. He grabbed Lily and tried to pull her toward the back door, but the officers stopped him. They arrested him on the spot, and Lily knew that justice had been served. In the end, Marcus's true nature had been exposed, and her mother had been saved from a dangerous man. As Lily and Ava left their old home behind and moved into a new one, Lily felt a sense of relief. She had done the right thing. She had protected her mother, and in doing so, she had saved herself as well. Her courage had given her mother the chance to start over, free from Marcus's control. Lily's story was a testament to the power of intuition, the importance of standing up for what's right, and the unwavering bond between a mother and daughter. Even when the people closest to us fail to see the truth, sometimes it's up to us to be the voice of reason, to confront the dangers hiding in plain sight, and to protect those we love at all costs. Lily had always trusted her instincts, especially when it came to her mother, Ava. When Ava started dating Marcus, a seemingly perfect man, handsome, wealthy, and charming, Lily couldn't shake the nagging feeling that something wasn't right. Marcus seemed to have it all: the expensive car, the expensive gifts for Ava, the perfect smile, and the ideal charm. However, to Lily, there was an unsettling edge to him that didn't sit well. His polished manners and consistent compliments felt almost too rehearsed, and his gaze, particularly when it landed on her, seemed too cold. He would often stare at her in a way that made her skin crawl, and she couldn't understand why he always sought to be the center of attention in every conversation, no matter how small. Lily tried to voice her concerns to Ava, but her mother, who had fallen deeply in love with Marcus, dismissed them. "You're just being paranoid, Lily. He's a good man," Ava reassured her, and Lily, knowing how happy her mother was, struggled to keep her worries at bay. Despite Ava's dismissive response, Lily's gut told her that something wasn't right, and she began to pay closer attention. One evening, when Marcus came over for dinner, Lily witnessed something that shook her to the core. As she glanced into the hallway, she saw Marcus standing there, watching her mother's bedroom door, with an intensity that made her feel like prey. His expression wasn't the charming, polite face she had grown accustomed to seeing. It was cold, predatory even. Lily's heart raced, and she quickly turned away. But when she looked back, Marcus was gone. Unsure if she had imagined it, Lily tried to brush it off, but the unease lingered. The next day, she tried to talk to Ava again, hoping to explain what she had seen. But Ava's response was the same. "You're imagining things," she insisted. Frustrated, Lily decided to investigate on her own. She began to search for information about Marcus, but every time she dug deeper, she found nothing. No online presence, no business articles, no social media, nothing. How could a successful businessman who was always dressed in designer clothes and lived such a lavish life have no online footprint? This only deepened Lily's suspicion, and she couldn't let it go. Determined to prove her instincts right, Lily sneaked into her mother's room one afternoon and searched for Marcus's phone number. When she found it, she quickly passed the number on to her friend Kate, hoping to uncover any details about Marcus's true identity. Kate ran the number through various databases, but came up empty. There was no record of Marcus anywhere, and Lily's heart sank. Her suspicions were growing into something darker, and she couldn't shake the thought that Marcus might be hiding something far more sinister. That evening, as Lily prepared herself for another uncomfortable dinner with Marcus, things took an even darker turn. Marcus offered her a piece of meat, and when Lily refused, he smiled in a way that made her skin crawl. She just needs time to get used to you, Ava laughed, unaware of the tension that had been building between them. But it was the words Marcus spoke next that truly chilled Lily. Sometimes being too smart isn't good. His eyes locked onto hers, and Lily felt a chill run down her spine. She couldn't take it anymore. She knew she had to find out what Marcus was hiding, but Ava would never believe her without concrete proof. So, Lily took matters into her own hands. She and Kate began digging into Marcus's past, and what they uncovered was terrifying. The results were even more disturbing. There was absolutely nothing on Marcus. Not a single record or link to any social media. It was as though he didn't exist. Her heart sank. Everything about Marcus screamed danger, but no one seemed to take her seriously. Lily knew she needed more proof. That night, during dinner, Marcus once again appeared, but this time his behavior was different. He offered her a piece of meat, and when she refused, he smiled in a way that sent a shiver down her spine. There was something about that smile that didn't sit right with her, but it wasn't just the smile, it was the way he spoke to her, the coldness in his words. "She just needs time to get used to you," Ava said, unaware of the underlying tension. Marcus's gaze lingered on Lily, making her skin crawl. "I hope she's not too smart," he said, his words making Lily's blood run cold. This wasn't just a man trying to charm her. This was a man who was trying to intimidate her. Frustrated and desperate for answers, Lily reached out to Kate, and together they began investigating Marcus's past. After a few late-night searches, they discovered that Marcus had a connection to a woman named Adriana Collins, who had mysteriously disappeared 2 years ago. As they dug deeper, they uncovered chilling photos of Adriana tied up in a dark room, the last images showing her lifeless body. Marcus was not only a fraud, he was a killer. Lily's heart raced as the horrifying truth sank in. She had to stop him before he hurt anyone else, but how could she prove it when no one would believe her? The final confrontation came when Lily decided to confront Marcus directly. With the evidence she had gathered, she accused him of being involved in Adriana's disappearance. But Marcus was calm, even amused by the accusation. He tried to manipulate Lily, smirking at her, his eyes glinting with danger. Still, Lily stood firm, holding her ground. She knew she had to expose him. The moment she pulled out the recording, Marcus's expression shifted from amusement to fury. He knew the game was up. With the police on their way, Marcus attempted to flee, but Lily wasn't going to let him escape. As the officers closed in, he tried to resist, pulling a knife from his jacket and threatening Lily. But the officers swiftly overpowered him, arresting him on the spot. The evidence was undeniable. Lily had done it. She had saved her mother from a dangerous man. In the days that followed, Lily and Ava moved away from the house where Marcus had tried to manipulate their lives. It was a fresh start, a new chapter, one where Lily's courage and determination had proven that sometimes the truth takes more than just faith, it takes action. Ava, now safe and free from Marcus's grip, understood her daughter's bravery. They would never look back, knowing they had faced the darkness together and emerged stronger for it. Lily had always trusted her mother's judgment, but when her mother, Ava, began dating Marcus, something about him felt off. Marcus was charming, attractive, and well-established in his career. He showered Ava with lavish gifts and attention, always knowing the right things to say to keep her smiling. But Lily, who had always been a perceptive child, couldn't shake the feeling that Marcus was hiding something. He was too perfect, too polished, and the way he looked at Lily made her skin crawl. His eyes would always linger on her a little too long, and there was something unnerving in his gaze. Despite his smooth exterior, something about him didn't sit right with Lily, and she couldn't ignore the gnawing sense of unease. One evening, Marcus came over for dinner, and as usual, he was polite, making small talk with Ava and offering to serve everyone. Lily sat quietly at the table, her eyes constantly shifting toward him. Every move he made seemed too calculated, too deliberate. When he offered her a piece of meat, she politely declined, but his smile grew slightly too wide, almost as if he was irritated by her refusal. It was a smile that sent a shiver down her spine. His charm never reached his eyes. Instead, they seemed cold, calculating. Lily's suspicion grew, and later that night, she tried to share her concerns with her mother. "Mom, I really don't think he's a good person," she confessed, her voice filled with worry. Ava, however, dismissed it with a laugh, assuring Lily that Marcus was a good man who liked her a lot. "You're imagining things," her mother said, brushing aside her concerns. But Lily couldn't stop thinking about the unease Marcus caused her, and she became more determined to find out the truth. The next day at school, Lily met with her best friend, Kate, and confided in her about Marcus. "I'm serious. There's something wrong with him," Lily said, her voice low, almost fearful. Kate rolled her eyes, assuming it was just typical teenage jealousy, worried about a new man in her mother's life. "He's a successful businessman. He drives an expensive car and wears designer clothes. What could possibly be wrong with him?" Kate asked, trying to calm Lily down. But Lily was sure of it. There was something dangerous lurking behind Marcus's perfect facade. That night, her instincts were proven true. As she sat in her room, reading a book, she looked up to see Marcus standing at the end of the hallway, staring at her through the reflection in the glass. His smile was twisted, his eyes dark. Heart racing, Lily turned quickly, but when she looked again, he was gone. She couldn't shake the eerie feeling that had overtaken her. Her pulse pounded in her ears, and she knew she had to do something before it was too late. Lily decided to investigate Marcus further. She began digging into his background, but everything about him was strangely elusive. There were no social media profiles, no company website, no articles or news stories, nothing. It was as if Marcus didn't exist outside of their home. She was determined to find the truth, but every lead led nowhere. That was until she made a startling discovery. Lily learned that Marcus had been involved with a woman named Adriana Collins, who had mysteriously disappeared 2 years ago. As she pieced together the information, it became clear that Marcus was not who he claimed to be. He wasn't just hiding his past, he was hiding something much darker. Lily's heart sank as she realized Marcus had been the last person to see Adriana alive, and the evidence began to point toward him being involved in her disappearance. With this new information, Lily knew she had to act fast. But the deeper she dug, the more dangerous the situation became. Marcus was aware of Lily's growing suspicion. One evening, after another tense dinner, Lily decided to confront him. She accused him of being involved in Adriana's disappearance, but Marcus remained calm, even amused. He smirked, leaning in closer to her, trying to intimidate her with his icy stare. "You don't know who you're messing with," he whispered. Lily, however, stood firm, knowing that she had to expose him before he could hurt anyone else. "I have proof," she said, her voice unwavering, pulling out the phone with the damning evidence. But Marcus was too quick. He had already suspected Lily and was prepared to shut her down. Lily's heart raced as Marcus grabbed her wrist, his grip tightening like a vice. For a moment, it seemed like he would overpower her, but Lily managed to slip away. That was when she realized that she had to act fast. She couldn't let her mother marry this dangerous man without knowing the truth. With the help of Kate, Lily devised a plan to trap Marcus and get the confession she needed to expose him. They managed to sneak a recording device into his phone and caught him admitting his role in Adriana's disappearance. Lily, now with undeniable proof, confronted Marcus one final time, but this time she wasn't afraid. She knew that the truth was on her side. When the police arrived, Marcus tried to resist, but it was too late. He was arrested and taken away, his lies and manipulations finally exposed. Ava, devastated by the truth, broke down in tears. She had trusted Marcus and thought he was the one, but thanks to Lily's bravery, the danger had been stopped. They moved far away from the memories of Marcus, and for the first time in a long while, Lily and her mother found peace. Through Lily's determination and unwavering belief in what was right, they were able to start fresh, free from the shadow that had once loomed over them. From the moment Lily met Marcus, something about him didn't sit right with her. Marcus was the picture of perfection, handsome, well-dressed, and full of charm. He seemed to have it all, and his smooth words made Ava, Lily's mother, swoon. Ava had been looking for love after her difficult divorce, and Marcus seemed like the perfect man to sweep her off her feet. He showered Ava with gifts, compliments, and attention. But to Lily, Marcus was too polished, too perfect. She couldn't shake the feeling that he was hiding something. The way he looked at her almost too intently was enough to make her skin crawl. She was uncomfortable in his presence, and no matter how much her mother insisted that Marcus was a good man, Lily couldn't trust him. One evening, as Marcus joined them for dinner, Lily tried to ignore the unease gnawing at her. He was the perfect guest, charming, polite, and friendly with Ava. But there was something about his gaze when he turned to Lily. It was almost predatory, and Lily couldn't help but notice the way his smile never quite reached his eyes. He offered her a piece of meat, and when she declined, his smile tightened, as though her refusal irritated him. But Marcus didn't say anything. Instead, he kept his cool, almost too calm. When Ava caught on to Lily's discomfort, she quickly brushed it off, dismissing her daughter's feelings. "You're imagining things, Lily. Marcus is a good man," Ava said with a reassuring smile. But Lily wasn't convinced. She felt deep in her gut that something was wrong. The next day at school, Lily sought out her best friend, Kate, to share her concerns. "I'm serious, Kate. There's something wrong with Marcus," she whispered, still feeling uneasy about his behavior. Kate, ever the realist, shrugged it off. "Lily, he's rich, successful, and treats your mom like a queen. What could be wrong with him?" Kate said, rolling her eyes. But Lily was sure of one thing. Marcus wasn't who he seemed to be. That night, while she sat reading in her room, Lily glanced up and saw Marcus standing in the hallway, staring at her through the reflection of the mirror. His smile was twisted, and his eyes held an intensity that made her heart race. She quickly turned, thinking she'd imagined it, but when she checked again, he was gone. It was then that she knew something was terribly wrong. Unable to shake the feeling that Marcus was hiding something, Lily began to investigate. She searched for any information on him, but the more she looked, the more she realized Marcus was a mystery. There were no social media profiles, no business records, and nothing to verify his claims. He seemed to be a ghost, with no online footprint. That only heightened Lily's suspicions. If Marcus truly was a successful businessman, why wasn't he more visible? She had to find out the truth. Late one night, she decided to dig deeper and discovered that Marcus had been linked to a woman named Adriana Collins, who had disappeared 2 years ago. The realization hit Lily like a punch to the stomach. Marcus had been the last person seen with Adriana, and now Lily knew he was hiding something, and it wasn't good. With her suspicions confirmed, Lily knew she had to act. But her mother refused to believe her, dismissing her concerns as nothing more than a teenager's overactive imagination. So, Lily turned to Kate for help. Together, they came up with a plan to uncover Marcus's secrets. They began to piece together his past, looking for any hint of his involvement in Adriana's disappearance. The more they dug, the more they uncovered, but nothing could prepare them for the shocking truth they were about to discover. Marcus wasn't just hiding his past. He was hiding a dark, dangerous secret, and Lily was determined to stop him before he could hurt anyone else. One night, after a tense dinner with Marcus, Lily decided it was time to confront him. She accused him of being involved in Adriana's disappearance, but Marcus remained calm, his eyes cold and calculating. "You don't know what you're talking about, Lily," he said, leaning in closer to her. "You really should mind your own business." But Lily wasn't intimidated. She knew she had to expose him. She held her ground, refusing to back down. "I know what you did," she said firmly, "and I'm going to make sure everyone knows the truth." Lily's confrontation with Marcus marked a turning point. He had been playing a dangerous game, but now she had proof that would bring him to justice. With the help of Kate, Lily devised a plan to trap Marcus and get the confession they needed. They secretly planted a recording device, capturing Marcus admitting to his role in Adriana's disappearance. Armed with that evidence, Lily confronted him again, and this time, Marcus couldn't deny the truth. He was caught, and there was nowhere for him to hide. When the police arrived to arrest Marcus, Lily's heart pounded in her chest, knowing that her bravery had exposed the monster behind Marcus's charming exterior. Ava, devastated by the betrayal, finally saw Marcus for who he truly was. Her trust had been shattered, but thanks to Lily's determination, they were able to put an end to Marcus's reign of terror. The family moved away, leaving behind the painful memories of the man who had almost torn them apart. For the first time in months, Lily and Ava could finally breathe easy, knowing that justice had been served and their lives could begin anew. Lily had always been close to her mother, Ava, but when Marcus entered their lives, something shifted. Marcus was everything Ava had been longing for: a charming, successful man who lavished her with gifts and affection. He drove an expensive car, wore designer clothes, and seemed perfect in every way. Ava, desperate for love and companionship after her divorce, was swept off her feet. However, for Lily, something didn't feel right. She couldn't shake the feeling that Marcus was hiding something sinister beneath his perfect exterior. His smooth words and constant attention made her uneasy, especially the way he looked at her with an intensity that sent chills down her spine. His gaze felt almost predatory, and no matter how much her mother insisted that Marcus was a good man, Lily couldn't trust him. One evening, while they were having dinner together, Lily noticed something in Marcus's smile that made her skin crawl. When she politely declined his offer for food, Marcus responded with a chilling remark, "I hope she's not too smart. Sometimes being too smart isn't good." His words, combined with the cold gleam in his eyes, unsettled Lily even more. That night, as Lily lay in bed, she couldn't shake the image of Marcus standing in the hallway, staring at her through the reflection in the mirror. When she turned to confront him, he was gone, but the feeling of being watched lingered. Lily tried to explain her suspicions to her mother the next morning, but Ava dismissed them as irrational fears. "You're imagining things, Lily. Marcus is a good man, and you need to stop being rude to him," Ava said, brushing off her daughter's concerns. Despite her mother's reassurances, Lily couldn't ignore the nagging feeling that something was wrong. Determined to uncover the truth, Lily began searching for information on Marcus, but to her shock, she found nothing. There were no online records, no social media profiles, no news articles about him, nothing. A successful businessman should have some kind of online presence, but Marcus was a ghost. That afternoon, as Lily sat in her room, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. She discovered that Marcus had been linked to a woman named Adriana Collins, who had gone missing 2 years ago. The more she investigated, the clearer it became. Marcus was hiding something dark. Lily's suspicions turned into certainty. Marcus was not who he claimed to be, and he was dangerous. But her mother still refused to listen, caught up in her infatuation with Marcus. Ava believed his lies, and Lily feared that her mother's love for him would blind her to the truth. With no one else to turn to, Lily confided in her best friend, Emily. "I need your help," she said urgently. "I found something on Marcus. He's connected to the disappearance of Adriana Collins, and I think he's hiding something. I need to prove it to my mom." Emily, initially skeptical, agreed to help. Together, they devised a plan to gather more information on Marcus. They traced his phone number, but when Emily ran a background check, it turned up nothing. Marcus was a man without a past. Lily's anxiety reached its peak when she realized Marcus was planning to marry her mother. He had charmed Ava into thinking that everything was perfect, but Lily knew otherwise. Her heart raced as she realized that Marcus was not just a man with a secret. He was a predator. One night, as he was visiting their house, Lily seized the opportunity to search for more evidence. She found Marcus's phone on the dining table while he and Ava chatted in the living room. With shaking hands, she reached for it, but as soon as her fingers brushed the phone, Marcus's cold hand shot out, gripping her wrist tightly. "What do you think you're doing, Lily?" he asked, his voice low and menacing. Lily's heart skipped a beat, but she quickly pulled her hand back, pretending to be innocent. "I was just going to give it back to you," she lied. Marcus let go, but Lily knew he was onto her. He smiled, but his eyes were filled with suspicion. Despite her growing fear, Lily refused to back down. She continued to dig for more information, and soon, with the help of Matthew, a tech-savvy friend, she found a crucial piece of evidence. Marcus's phone had been used to contact Adriana Collins just before her disappearance. Armed with this information, Lily confronted Marcus once again, this time with a recording of his voice, which had been secretly sent to the police. When she threatened to expose him, Marcus's cold smile faded, and the true monster behind his perfect facade finally showed. The police arrived just in time to arrest Marcus, and as they handcuffed him, Lily felt a mixture of relief and terror. Ava, devastated by the truth, had no choice but to accept that the man she loved was a murderer. With Marcus's arrest, Lily and Ava were able to move on, leaving behind the traumatic memories of their time with him. They relocated to a new home, where they could finally heal. As Lily stood on the balcony, Looking out at the sunset, with her mother by her side, she knew that despite everything they had gone through, they were stronger together. Lily's courage and determination had saved her mother, and she vowed to never let anyone, especially someone as dangerous as Marcus, control their lives again. Lily had always been close to her mother, Ava, but when Marcus entered their lives, everything began to change. Marcus seemed perfect, handsome, successful, and incredibly charming. He had the wealth, the car, and the perfect smile that could win anyone over. But Lily wasn't so sure. As her mother's new fiancé, Marcus was everything Ava had been longing for, and she fell for him quickly. However, Lily felt something off about him from the very beginning. His demeanor was polished, too smooth, and he seemed to pay her attention in a way that made her uncomfortable. Lily noticed the coldness in his smile, the strange look in his eyes whenever he looked at her, and the way he seemed to always be watching her closely, as if waiting for something. One evening, during dinner, Lily became increasingly unsettled by Marcus's behavior. When she turned down a piece of food he offered, his response was chilling. He made a comment about her being too smart, and how sometimes being too smart isn't good. That comment, along with the way he stared at her, made Lily's skin crawl. She had no doubts that Marcus was hiding something, and that something wasn't good. She couldn't shake the feeling that he was a predator in disguise. Her concerns grew more serious when, late at night, she caught a glimpse of Marcus standing in the hallway outside her mother's room, staring at her through the reflection in the mirror. When she turned to face him, he was gone. This was the breaking point for Lily, and she knew she had to take action. The next morning, Lily tried to speak to her mother, but Ava brushed off her concerns. She insisted that Marcus was a good man, and that Lily was just imagining things. "He likes you, Lily, he really does," her mother would say, but Lily couldn't let go of her gut feeling. That night, she decided to do some research. She sneaked into her mother's room while Ava was out and searched for any information on Marcus. What she found was deeply troubling. Nothing. There was no trace of Marcus online, no professional records, no social media profiles, absolutely nothing. For someone claiming to be a successful businessman, that was impossible. But still, her mother refused to listen, too blinded by her own feelings to see the truth. Lily's fears grew when she discovered that Marcus was connected to a missing woman named Adriana Collins, who had disappeared 2 years ago. Her intuition told her that Marcus was somehow involved, but she needed proof. She turned to her best friend, Emily, who initially doubted her suspicions, but eventually agreed to help. Together, they traced Marcus's phone number and found something disturbing. Marcus had been in contact with Adriana shortly before her disappearance. This confirmed what Lily had feared. Marcus wasn't just hiding something, he was dangerous. But even with the evidence, Lily's mother refused to believe her. Ava was too emotionally invested in Marcus, and each time Lily confronted her, her mother dismissed her concerns as paranoia. Lily couldn't understand how Ava could ignore the obvious signs that something was wrong. Desperate to protect her mother, Lily continued to gather more evidence, refusing to back down. She enlisted the help of Matthew, a friend who was tech-savvy, and together they uncovered more information about Marcus. They discovered that Marcus's phone had been linked to Adriana Collins just before she went missing. Despite everything, Ava still wanted to marry Marcus. Lily knew that she had to stop it before it was too late. She knew that Marcus was a killer and that her mother's life was at risk. As the wedding drew closer, Lily took matters into her own hands. She confronted Marcus directly, recording their conversation with the intention of exposing him. But when Marcus caught on to her plan, he took the recorder from her, and Lily realized just how dangerous he really was. Still, she didn't give up. She continued to collect information and, with the help of Matthew, discovered photos on Marcus's phone that showed Adriana tied up and locked in a dark room before she was killed. It was undeniable now Marcus was a murderer. With the evidence in hand, Lily knew she had to act quickly. She called the police and confronted Marcus once again. This time, he couldn't deny it. When Ava finally heard the truth, she was devastated. She had trusted him, loved him, and had been ready to marry him. But now, she saw the truth. Marcus had lied, manipulated, and killed. He was arrested, and Lily had saved her mother from a terrible fate. After Marcus's arrest, Lily and her mother moved away, starting over in a new place where they could heal and rebuild their lives. It was a fresh start, free from the shadow of Marcus. Lily's courage and determination had saved her mother's life, and she was finally able to look forward to the future, knowing she had protected her family from a monster disguised as a perfect man. 12 Lily's unease began the moment Marcus entered their lives. He seemed perfect, handsome, successful, and a smooth talker. He swept Ava off her feet quickly, making grand gestures and showering her with compliments. To Ava, Marcus was everything she'd been waiting for, but for Lily, something didn't feel right. As her mother's new fiancé, Marcus had all the traits of a dream partner: wealth, charm, and a seemingly perfect reputation. The story of Lily's courage and determination shows how trust in our instincts and the pursuit of truth can protect us from harm, even when others may refuse to believe us. Through her strength, Lily saved her family and ensured that justice was served. The story of Lily and Marcus teaches us that trusting our instincts, no matter how much others may dismiss our concerns, can be a powerful tool for protecting ourselves and our loved ones. In life, we often face situations where things don't feel right, but society, family, or friends may pressure us to ignore those feelings for the sake of harmony or acceptance. This story highlights the importance of standing firm in the truth, even when it's difficult or when others fail to see what we see. It reminds us that real love and protection come from caring deeply for one another's well-being, not from allowing ourselves to be manipulated or silenced. As we age, we gain wisdom and experience, and these qualities enable us to make informed decisions about who we trust and who we allow into our lives. Lily's courage in the face of fear is a powerful reminder that at any stage in life, we must always speak up for what is right, and we must not allow ourselves to be swept along by others' illusions. Whether it's about family relationships or personal boundaries, the lessons in this story encourage us to listen to our intuition, seek the truth, and act with integrity because, in the end, our peace and safety depend on it. Thank you for watching. Your support means everything to us here at Stories TH. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more gripping stories. Stay strong, keep protecting your family, and we'll see you next time.